Welcome to the AWS Console tour for GRC engineers from UprootSecurity. In this walkthrough, we'll move through 3 services that every governance, risk, and compliance engineer needs to know inside the AWS Console: Identity and Access Management, CloudTrail, and GuardDuty. By the end, you'll know exactly where to click to pull the evidence auditors ask for. Here's what we'll cover. First, IAM, users, groups, roles, and policies. This is the foundation of AWS access control. Second, CloudTrail, your audit log, the source of truth for who did what, when, and from where. And third, GuardDuty, AWS's managed threat detection service, which surfaces the findings your security team needs to act on. 3 services, 1 console, 1 workflow. Before we dive in, a quick tour of the console itself. You sign in at console.os.amazon.com. The top bar holds your account switcher, your region selector, and notifications. The search bar is the fastest way to jump to any service. Now, region matters. Resources in Oz are region-specific. For GRC work, always confirm you're in the right region before pulling evidence. A screenshot from the wrong region is useless to an auditor. Section 1. Identity and Access Management. IAM is the foundation of access control in AWS. Every user, every service, and every automated process interacts with AWS through IAM. If you understand IAM, you understand the front door. Start at the IAM dashboard. You'll find it under Services, then IAM. The dashboard summarizes your users, groups, roles, and policies. Pay attention to the Security Recommendations panel. It highlights quick wins. If you see a root account usage alert, that's a red flag worth investigating. And take a look at the MFA status at a glance. It tells you whether your human users are protected. Next, users and groups. Users are individual human identities. Groups are collections of users that share permissions. 3 columns to check every single time. First, the MFA column. Every user should show virtual or hardware. Second, access key age, flag anything older than 90 days. Third, last activity. This is how you spot dormant accounts that should be deprovisioned. Now, roles. Roles are identities assumed by services, applications, or humans. The key difference from users: no permanent credentials. Roles issue temporary tokens. Each role has a trust policy that defines who is allowed to assume it. Common examples include the EC2 instance role, the Lambda execution role, and cross-account roles. For GRC work, your job is to verify that every role follows the principle of least privilege. Policies. A policy is a JSON document that defines permissions. There are 3 flavors. Oz-managed policies are pre-built by Oz, think read-only access. Customer-managed are policies you write yourself. Inline policies are attached directly to a single user or role. Whichever flavor you're reviewing, the rule is the same: principle of least privilege. Allow only what's needed, nothing more. Here are the key GRC controls for IAM. On access reviews, run them quarterly, deactivate accounts inactive for 90 days or more, confirm MFA on every human user, rotate access keys every 90 days, and remove unused permissions. For evidence, export the IAM credential report as CSV, save IAM access analyzer findings, document role trust policies, and screenshot your MFA enforcement policy. The findings auditors flag most often: root used for daily work, users without MFA, administrator access granted too broadly, access keys older than 90 days, and stale accounts that were never deprovisioned. Section 2. CloudTrail. CloudTrail records every API call in your AWS account. It is your primary source of audit evidence: the who, what, when, and where of every action taken in Oz. If IAM is the front door, CloudTrail is the security camera. Start at the CloudTrail dashboard, under Services, then CloudTrail. There are 2 things you need to understand. Event history is always on, free, and covers the last 90 days. Trails are what you configure to send logs to S3 for long-term retention. A multi-region trail captures activity across all regions at once. Set this up. And always enable log file validation. It proves your logs haven't been tampered with, auditors will ask. Event history is where you investigate. Filter by event name, username, resource, or time range. Each event tells you who acted, what they did, when, and from which IP. The JSON record holds the full request and response. Useful filters to remember: console login for sign-ins, delete bucket for destructive actions, authorize security group ingress for network changes. When you find what you need, download the result to CSV. That's your audit evidence. Creating a trail. Go to Trails, then Create Trail. A few non-negotiables. Apply to all regions, yes, always. Send logs to a dedicated S3 bucket, separate from your application data. Enable log file validation. This is the integrity proof. Hook it into CloudWatch logs so you can alert on events. And encrypt the logs at rest with KMS. 5 settings, 5 reasons an auditor will thank you. GRC controls for CloudTrail. Your audit evidence. CSV exports from event history, proof of who accessed what resource, login history with source IPs, configuration change timelines, and deletion events with the actor. Trail configuration. Multi-region active, S3 bucket with object lock, log file validation enabled, retention of at least 12 months, and restricted access to the trail bucket. The common findings auditors raise. No trail configured, single region trail missing events, log file validation disabled, trail logs accessible to everyone, and no alerting on critical events. Section 3. GuardDuty. GuardDuty is AWS's managed threat detection service. It continuously monitors for malicious activity and unauthorized behavior across your AWS accounts and workloads. No agents, no infrastructure, just findings. Find it under Services, then GuardDuty. Enable it with one click. There's nothing to install. Under the hood, it analyzes 3 signals: your CloudTrail logs, VPC flow logs, and DNS logs. Findings are categorized by severity, low, medium, and high. And there's a 30-day free trial when you first enable it, so you can see the volume of findings before you commit. Enabling and settings. GuardDuty is enabled per region, or you can use AWS organizations to roll it out across every account at once. Turn on S3 protection to monitor data access in your buckets. Turn on EKS protection if you run Kubernetes. Malware protection scans your EBS volumes. And for multi-account setups, delegate administration to a central security account so every finding lands in one place. Understanding findings. Each finding name follows the pattern threat purpose, then resource type, then threat family. For example, unauthorized access :EAM user/console login success.b. Every finding tells you the affected resource, the account, the region, and the time. Archive resolved findings to keep your dashboard clean. And export findings to S3 or EventBridge so they flow into your SIEM. GRC controls for GuardDuty. Evidence for auditors. A screenshot showing GuardDuty enabled in every region, your finding count and severity breakdown, archived findings with notes explaining the disposition, SLA tracking for high-severity findings, and an export of findings for the review period. Configuration checklist. Enabled in all active regions, S3 protection on, multi-account with centralized admin, EventBridge rule for high findings, and an alert to the security team. The common findings. GuardDuty not enabled, enabled in some regions but not all, findings not reviewed or actioned, no escalation process for high findings, and GuardDuty suppressed globally. Key takeaways. For IAM, run a quarterly credential report, enforce MFA, apply least privilege, and flag stale users and old access keys. For CloudTrail, set up a multi-region trail to S3, enable log file validation, retain logs for at least 12 months, and restrict access to the trail bucket. For GuardDuty, enable it in all regions, route high findings to your security team, and document triage and remediation for every finding. 3 services, 10 habits, 1 stronger AWS environment. Thanks for taking the tour. This is Uproot Security. Find us at uprootsecurity.com.